Hi, I am Dr. Hector Hinojosa with Cordillera Geoservices. Cordillera Geoservices is located in Cedar Park, Texas, which is in the Edwards Aquifer area. The Edwards Aquifer is an area where we have karstic limestone. Karstic limestone is a type of rock, sedimentary rock, that can create geohazards, such as caves like the one we see here in this neighborhood. It can also create sinkholes, subsidence, cavities, dissolution fractures that basically collect water and dirt, and with that you can also have some contaminants going into the aquifer. One of the main things that we care about in this area is that these geohazards, they can be detrimental for the construction of infrastructure, public infrastructure, and also commercial and residential buildings. Knowing the geology before you build something, such as a parking lot, a hospital, a building, a gas station, a neighborhood, a house, is very important. If we don't know what we're building on, we may encounter geohazards like caves, sinkholes, subsidence, and voids that can make the foundation weak after years of being constructed. Remember that story of the old Corvettes that collapsed and fell into a sinkhole? They were stored in a museum, and many of these old Corvettes were very valuable, and when the subsurface collapsed due to the presence of a sinkhole, all these vehicles basically went into the hole, into that huge sinkhole. And that could have been prevented by doing a geological study and also a geophysical study. Now that was a long time ago, so people back then were not paying that much attention to these type of studies. A similar story is from Florida. A couple of years ago, a big apartment complex also collapsed because a sinkhole got very big, and the surface geology was not strong enough to sustain the weight of this huge building. And that apartment complex collapsed because there was the collapse of a sinkhole. So here we have a different cave. It's a much smaller cave. It's about 5 feet in diameter, and it looks like a vertical shaft. And around the cave is there. Around the cave we have a bunch of fractures that run in this direction and that direction. You can see them here, there, here, and these fractures are wide and about 5-6 inches in width, and they can go really deep. So what these fractures do, sometimes they trap water, and the water finds its way into the subsurface. So they essentially feed the aquifer. But the water tends to dissolve the limestone. If you are in limestone, the chances that you have a cave that is not exposed exist. So what I do is I go out and I map the area. I look for features in the rocks that are indicators of caves and sinkholes. And I look at the surface geology. Occasionally, when the report comes out and there are indicators or features that suggest the presence of caves and sinkholes and voids, that may trigger additional services, including shallow environmental drilling or geophysical imaging of the subsurface with different geophysical imaging methods. So here we are also in limestone, but what we see here is a general depression. The surface, a natural bowl-like shape. In the center of that depression, we have a cave entrance on the left here that is about 3 to 4 feet wide in diameter. On the right hand side, we have a cavity that is about as wide as the width of my fist or hand, and it is deep. I can't tell how deep it is, but it goes vertically down. That cavity joins or intersects this cave. So these are some of the features that I look for when I'm trying to find caves and sinkholes. Just about 5 feet to the left, we have another small entrance to a cave, and then about a foot and a foot and a half, we have another small entrance to a cave. We got this tree growing out of the cave, and if we look at this carefully, we can see that they sort of line up along this vertical looking crack that's on the limestone. And this crack, it's possibly wider in the subsurface, but the interesting thing is that is helping dissolve this rock. The services that I provide include geological and geophysical services. The geological services basically consist in going to the site and looking at the local geology. I document the type of rock that there is, if there's one or two or more. I look at the structures that are exposed in those rocks. I document them, I measure them, I describe them, and I try to find features that may indicate that they are geohazards. If you are a land developer or a construction company, you probably have thought of doing this type of studies. When these geological studies develop into a report, quite often this report may encourage you to do additional testing, and that testing can be either drilling or geophysical imaging of the subsurface. So with a combination of geological and geophysical services, I'm able to help you understand the subsurface conditions and also the surface conditions, so that your construction project knows in advance if there is a geohazard at the surface or below the surface. If you need more information about how I do this, or you want to talk to me about a potential project, you can call me or you can visit my website.